All right, it is 6 o'clock and we are starting I am calling to order the November 28th, 2022 meeting of the Franklin Public Library Board of Trustees. I am Maria Imp here. Judy Williams-Kalaki is excused. Annalie Bennett Weber. Here. Terry Barris.
Here.
Anne Marie Oklubgia.
Here.
Ellen Alexandrovich.
Here.
Mike Karalevitz.
Here.
Kristen Wilhelm, Alderwoman. Super. And also attending is Jennifer Loeffel. There's no, and so we are going to move on to the approval of the October 24th minutes. I'm sorry, yeah. What? Oh, what? These say September on them.
Yep,
Are they the
That was my
September
mistake.
or are
No.
September on them?
yep.
Are they the
That was my
September
mistake.
or are
No.
they October? Is that what you owed about?
Yep,
Okay.
that's what I owed about.
No,
Yes.
these are, I think I just forgot when I cut and pasted, I forgot to change the date to October 24th.
Okay, so that's the first change to the minutes.
So I will
That the
make that
date
change.
needs the first change to the minutes.
So I will
That the
make that
date
change.
needs to reflect that they actually were the October 24th minutes. Any other questions or comments
On the minutes?
on the minutes?
Things that was brought up in conversation with the Library Foundation that wasn't mentioned in the minutes was bringing up the fact that Franklin Public Library is a nonprofit listed on Amazon Smile. So talk a little bit about that.
I
I
believe,
have it on my notes.
It was, I'm pretty sure, Mike's.
yeah.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
That was Kristen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Alan? Alan? Any other further? Pardon?
Correct.
Correct. Any further questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstentions? Motion carries. All right, moving on to agenda item 5, Finance Committee report. Alan. On to agenda item 5, Finance Committee report. Alan.
Okay, the first order of business here is the Fund 15 vouchers and invoices. I went through them. There was nothing unusual that I would, for Fund 15, so I would ask that we have a motion to approve the $19,320.74 of vouchers.
Annie, and I will second. Maria. Any other questions for Fund 15 vouchers and invoices? Anybody opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, invoices for Fund 16, there's only one that was a little funny, and that was we're writing a check to Brian Cummings because he bought the airline tickets for Brittany and Carrie to go to New Orleans, and he got a substantial discount, but he had to buy them. So
Oh.
we took advantage of the discount, we reimbursed him.
Is he a member or
A friend of Carrie's.
Gotcha. Nice.
Okay.
Gotcha. Nice.
Okay. Other than that, everything looked pretty normal, so I would look for a motion to accept from Fund 16 the payment of $3,951.45 for the invoice, 5 cents for the invoices.
I move.
I'll second.
Mike seconds. Any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, the treasurer's should have received a copy of the treasurer's report. We thought this might be more useful, so you had it right away. And did anybody have any questions or
Was the high charge on, let's see, activity, for postage, did that have something to do with the literary luncheon, or
No.
no?
That was an error in posting.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
if you looked at the thing where I put together, the month by month, discussed it, and she said she would have that changed.
Okay.
I assumed that would be changed on this report. It wasn't.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
it's correct on my report, and it still needs to be corrected by them.
Okay.
It's on the agenda to talk about financial stuff.
I think this is pretty much it. What would you like to discuss?
Looking through the stuff for Fund 15, and here we are. But like a month ago, it's kind of like, let's make sure we spend the budget. So wherever there was things like subscriptions is only at like 60%, is there more to come? That's going to like take it to 100%. More to come. That's going to like take it to 100%.
Yeah, what's not showing in here is the EBSCO magazine annual renewal, which is about $4,000. That gets us close, is about $4,000. That gets us closer.
Okay. Like you probably have already personally experienced at home, utility prices have gone up. So, we're already going to be over budget on utilities, and We Energies is saying that residential is supposed to go, this won't see it, but this place will probably be treated kind of like residential. And so, we're gonna wanna make sure that, at the beginning of the year, we take a look at that budget and say, do we need to?
When I set up the budget in advance for year-over-year increase in utility.
Okay.
And I'm not sure because what you're saying is true. I'm not sure 10% necessarily will cut it. So we should look at it.
But at least we gotta start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, like, our budget doesn't even kick in till, or change. Like, isn't ours a June to June,
No.
or, no?
We're
Is it
January.
Like, isn't ours a June to June,
No.
or, no?
We're
Is
January.
it January, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So rotate.
Yeah, that's true, okay.
Right, two more things. One is we have, in Fund 15 and in Fund 16, we have items for computer equipment. So we're like only at 13% for the Fund 15. So we're like only at 13% for the Fund 15 computer equipment, but we've got an entry on Fund 16 for computer equipment where we spent $2,300. So I'm wondering, why do we have it in two places?
Because the foundation purchased that for us, and the foundation reimburses us in Fund 16. And they reimbursed us for it. And that went into donations in Fund 16. So it was spent out of Fund 16 and then reimbursed into Fund 16.
But I think Mike's
As a donation.
question is, why do we have computer equipment in both funds? Is that your question?
We got kind of the same type of thing with other capital stuff like library materials. So as long as I understand that that's what's going on.
Because it's a donation, it's tied to donation, yeah.
Yeah, last thing, we've got taxable this is Fund 16. We've got taxable sales, copy, fax, coffee, rummage. And then sales, copy, fax, coffee, rummage. And then we have library sales, books, rummage, coffee. What's the difference?
Taxable sales copies, the coffee that we sell, that's all, we have to pay sales tax on that.
Yeah,
But book sales, you do not.
okay, so we keep that separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have, you can,
We keep that separate.
yeah.
Okay.
You can have, you can have up to 25,000 in book sales before you have to pay taxes, which we,
But I think one of the points Mike made was coffee is listed in both of these.
yeah, I can ask them to remove that because that shouldn't be in there. I'm not sure why that's in
Or
there.
is one of them coffee by the cup, or it becomes prepared, it's taxable?
They're
But
all-
when we have coffee sales where we're selling coffee, like
As a
bag-
fundraiser, yeah.
as a fundraiser?
But then the foundation does it, so,
Oh, the foundation, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So that doesn't, that, I can ask them to remove that.
Okay, thanks.
So Mike you guys met recently, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. To look at some of this year-end budget stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I thought I saw.
Yep.
And just briefly, in my report under Fund 15, we had $10,000 from the landfill operation. That's 50% of what we're anticipating. Investment earnings, 385% of the budget. Obviously, things are turning around in the area of 85% of the budget. Obviously, things are turning around in the area of bonds and interest. Fund 16, total revenues for October were $2,600 compared to our yearly monthly average of $4,800. I thought that was a significant drop off, but I don't know if there's anything kind of.
Is there a better time of year for donations? End of year, beginning of year?
No, we collect them all year. And the end of year donations we get a lot of times are for the foundation, because we send out an annual letter.
Shows our fund balance running better than budget as of October, and I'm projecting our fund balance at year end may only be reduced by $100,000 versus our budget showing a projected reduction in fund balance of $226,470. And some of that is because there's some capital items we didn't spend.
That we,
Great management,
right,
controlling expenses.
that's okay. The city will make us pay it down next year.
Exactly. Okay, so that was Fund 15 and 16. The cash register report tied out exactly. The cash register report tied out exactly as anticipated. The credit card summary, again, looked to fall right in line compared to what we normally see.
Is there somewhere on any of our paperwork that shows what we're making on that credit card? I know you roll it right over into gift cards or for,
No.
but that amount is not reported as anything. I'm wondering if there would be a benefit to showing that and then showing that we're purchasing gift cards. I don't know if that would.
At the December meeting, I can tell you guys what the
Yeah,
points, it's points. and
Right,
then we
right.
exchange those points for the gift card.
okay, so it's not like,
Yeah.
it's not like they deposit that in our account and then you take that money and buy the gift cards, you actually,
They actually
they
mail us
mail the gift cards,
Yep.
okay.
How often do you do that?
summer reading and winter reading 2 times a year.
How do you do that?
Summer reading and winter reading 2 times a year.
Well, since it's internal then, or not internal, but it's like through the bank, then maybe it's not the same as you.
I can certainly do a report, because we'll be,
I think it
we'll
would be
be,
interesting to know.
we'll be we'll
Because-
be ordering,
I think it
we'll
would be
be,
interesting to know.
we'll be we'll
because-
be ordering them.
Yeah. I'd
Just
be-
to have an idea. of
Just
what
to have an
the dollar amount
idea
is.
of-
Yeah, it's not gonna end up on a balance sheet, but.
2 times a year?
Well, especially since we have been trying to use the credit card for that purpose, I would just be
What kind
curious.
of points back are you getting? Are you on?
Yeah. I mean, whenever there's a special offer, but the thing is, we're not going to restaurants.
Right,
So,
yeah.
we don't oftentimes get the 5%
specials,
because
yeah.
we're not spending in the
Spending on
categories that
gas
they
or
want
whatever,
us to
yeah.
spend it
Are
on.
you letting, the people that are using the credit cards know, hey, this month it's this, so make sure you,
Yeah, but it's,
all the time to,
oh, really?
yeah, I've got all kinds of categories in mine.
Yeah,
It
but
would be interesting, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would say, but it's really hard to get into those categories when you're running like an
Right.
operation like this.
Right.
Because they have it using Amazon or PayPal or something like that, and we just can't, using Amazon or PayPal or something like that, and we just
Oh,
can't
you can
go
use Amazon.
jumping through those hoops.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I know, I only once in a while pay attention, oh, darn, I could have put that on there and got those extra funds.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I did buy a hot water heater for,
Yeah,
the price of my points is,
We
Wow.
would,
hot water heater for,
yeah.
the price of my points is,
we
wow.
would, we would otherwise be buying gift cards or something though. That's why I think.
Or
it would be
asking for
interesting,
donations.
or-
Right.
or
Yeah, you can-
To ask for other donations or somehow supplementing prizes.
Yes.
It would give you an idea of how much.
Yes, yes.
I gotta be
Maybe,
going on the
maybe just as a suggestion, when you do those purchases in summer and winter, so really just twice a
put a
year.
report
Just
in.
show in your report, we had this many points and we're able to buy or cash it in for this much in gift cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
The nice thing is that the city, so we're able to get it for kids, teens, and
That's nice.
Adult.
Yeah, that is good.
So we don't get just like a Visa gift
Right.
card.
no, it's like, usually they get like, there's Amazon, there's Starbucks, there's Target,
So you could probably get restaurant coupon for a year worth.
and restaurants, yeah,
Coupon for a year worth.
and restaurants, yeah. DoorDash might be on there, come to think of it.
Sure.
Yeah. Put it all on
Alrighty.
Visa gift, yeah.
All righty, Alan, continue.
And then my report that has the monthly financials on it, I think,
Continue.
and then my report that has the monthly financials on it, I think I made the comment about the $1,360. In Fund 15, account 5311 postage, we had $1,360 on the computer-generated report that, and that account is actually zero.
Oh,
And that $1,360 would go into account 5822 building improvements. And so that number is $4,350 versus whatever it showed on that report.
oh, gotcha, okay.
Yeah. About had a little heart attack when I saw that.
Well, I guess I knew the,
No.
but then I thought, oh, we may do the mailing for the foundation. Anyway, okay.
And do you want me to continue on into the finance committee meeting, which is the next thing,
Sure,
or is that,
we will,
I'm not following the agenda here,
yes, that is actually the next thing under
still my thing.
yours, yeah.
Okay. At the meeting, we talked a lot about what kind of things that we could do for looking at how we're spending our fund balance. And we came down with three things that we felt needed to be done. One is a flow chart of the money moving in and out of the fund balance, and that's on the next page after our minutes here. And the next one was, what's the approval process for spending out of fund balance? And I think we're gonna have to get with the city for that, to find out what is the approval process. And the third thing I wrote down was get a description of what things will be handled by the city and what things will come out of our fund balance. My recommendation would be anything out of our fund balance. My recommendation would be anything, again, this building was put up by the city and we're using it, but it's the city's building. So anything inside this building, meaning the four walls and the roof, probably our responsibility. If this carpeting needs to be replaced, we probably have to do that. If the parking lot needs to be fixed, they would have to do that.
Kind of like being in a condo.
Kind
sort
of. But the heating and air conditioning is on the roof. I think that should be the city's. There is a patio over there that we're,
Where it's like a renter landlord, responsible for what's inside it.
yeah.
But I think your condo.
But a condo is like, because you're still have to make things,
You have to paint the inside.
These go for shoveling.
and it has to be
all that kind of
approved
stuff.
by,
So when you talk about the fund balance and how the city would like to do, what do you?
They'd like us to spend it down to $100,000, which is where they think we should be.
I don't know as,
$1,000, which is where they think we should be.
I don't know as if they can tell us how to run our finances, so I just didn't want to give them,
But-
the more leverage on that than.
I agree, but I think if we at least define and know what they're thinking, I mean, we can always negotiate whatever.
but if they're gonna keep not giving us money because they want us to spend that money, it doesn't,
Maybe
they
we could
control
have
us anyhow.
The finance officer come to our meeting.
Well, and this is gonna come up later in our meeting. a suggestion that we, the Personnel Committee, discussed, based on the evaluation, was, if we were able to present to the city prior to the budget process, let's say we need new carpeting and money they're giving us, we tell them, by the way, the carpeting is 20 years old and we are going to replace it all and we are going to be spending X amount of money, then they will also know in advance that we are planning on spending that money before they decide then what percentage we're going to be giving of the tax levy. So having that outlined for them before the budget is even created, what we know our expenses are going to be, hopefully would also help them make a.
But that's what the 5-year,
Right, but like
projections.
carpeting's not in there.
it is,
Oh, it is?
yeah.
Oh,
I think it's 2026.
I didn't think,
Visible.
Yeah,
right,
So when we're
That
talking about,
they
when
need-
we're talking about 2024,
yeah,
okay, we're gonna be getting some things in front of you to let you know.
Right.
You're putting the budget together for 2024. Remember in 2022 when we talked to you about this?
Right.
We said, here's what's gonna be coming up in future years. Well,
We're
you
here.
know,
Right.
so you've got a schedule.
of
you
all
spent.
that, yeah,
And that should be like that for really any department, you would figure.
Right.
That they would
Right.
say, okay, there's gonna be a need for additional, whatever it's gonna be.
right,
Because they're not looking at our strategic plan
right,
all the time. So-
Right.
So bringing it up to them in spring, early summer,
right,
then hopefully
right.
Does Oak Creek own, the library board own their library, or is that owned by the
I
municipality?
think it's in their city building.
it's in they're in the city
Because-
building.
When I look at, the Oak Creek's, description of what they're allowed, it says the public libraries in the state of Wisconsin are responsibility of the library board are to appoint a city librarian and other describe the duties and compensation for these. So, but the city is giving some of the employees, so those are the employees that are employed by the city, not by the library board.
Mhm.
So why is there this difference between city employees and?
I don't, does that have to do with the civil service? Because you have civil service employees.
Exempt,
Employees.
exempt.
Exempt, and exempt, the library, the professional librarian.
And are you, as people retire, do you continue to do replace civil service? Civil service.
Well, we post, we ask them to post jobs, they do the screening, but then they send the list to us for the final. So we're the
just-
ones doing the interviewing and the hiring.
Yeah,
We're the ones doing the interviewing and the hiring.
yeah. I just didn't know if other libraries have, this breakdown where they basically tell the library board, well, this is what you're paying, and now you got, under state statutes, the library board's supposed to have complete control over all of that. And it doesn't work that way. I'm really confused by that. Why do we have split when statutes clearly says that doesn't work? So,
Good conversation for the city meeting.
For example,
We can't resolve that here.
no, we don't have tax authority. Boards don't.
the city collects it like they do for
Yeah.
schools and all of that, and then distributes it, but,
But there's no separate library tax.
yeah, there's impact.
Well, okay, but I mean, the overall, not the way this it is for us.
So we don't get too far afield from what we were talking about.
Yeah,
One of the reasons for the conversation was, okay, now we get to a point where we need to do something with fund balance. It's just like, okay, now what?
right,
Where's the steps? Who do you contact? What's the procedure that you need? We wanted to have something down so that regardless of what's the procedure that you need, we wanted to have something down so that regardless of who sits in these seats, you pull
Right.
the book off and you say, okay, it's time to go after this, what do we need to do? So Alan did a really nice job of at least putting a flow chart together to say, okay, like, were the revenues greater than the expenditures? No, okay, so like, we're here. Capital outlays greater than the net loss. Okay, so we're gonna have $100,000, okay, so what do we do? Is there timing on this? Who do we contact? What's the procedure? You know, who needs to get involved in doing all this type of stuff? Time?
And I was also concerned that when we had a conversation about how much it's gonna cost to resurface the lot, a comment was made that, well, the city's looking at, maybe we should pay for that out of fund balance, because we have such a large fund balance. And I thought that was definitely stepping out of bounds, but we don't have a definition of what's what.
Right.
They just kind of tell us what to do.
Definitions of the state statutes, that's what my answer is.
Yeah, and we gonna sue them if they say, no, you're paying for the lot? I mean, if the mayor says the lot, I mean, if the mayor says we have to do it out of fund balance, they control the cash. Bills.
In a conversation I had with someone at the city, they said, we don't have to do anything. Said, we don't have to do anything. This board controls what the city gives us. So if we say, no, we don't want to do the parking lot out of our money, then we don't have to do it. But then it's on us to find the contractor and redo the city lot, probably city lots. And so it's like we're between a rock and a hard place, because we do control our money and we don't really have to do anything that they are suggesting we do. However,
If that means it doesn't get done,
at our own time and expense.
And
So,
most of the money that we get from them. So if they decide that, well, we're not gonna give you 1,400,000, we're gonna give you 1 million.
right,
And it will pay for the lot, and you figure out how to make it work. I mean, they,
right, yeah, it's all part of the cycle, yeah.
part of the politics.
Right. So I think maintaining a good relationship with them, open communication, all of that kind of stuff is very important. So I think something like this and you know, asking for that communication. And I know it's been a hard couple years between the pandemic and the switches in staff over there. So I think us being on top of it will also be helpful for them too.
Well, yeah, if everybody has a clear, follow it, everybody has a clear, follow it.
Right, and they probably haven't, I think we're bringing things up to them that they aren't thinking about all the time. So it's helpful for them too to,
Kristen, do we know if other city departments have fund balances? Other city departments have fund balances? Okay, so there might be a process out there for,
Well, they
How
have
to
a
do it.
financial policy about how, when that fund balance, how high it can go. And once it gets that high, it drops back, most of it drops back to the general fund.
oh,
and what I'm thinking is that a procedure for spending stuff out of the fund balance. What do you do? It's not your budget per se. It's not, there's not an item there that says, okay, we're gonna spend out of this account. It's just the fund balance.
Charitable though, like they might not get the donations that the library does,
The city gets donations.
do they?
But Terry, when you go to that colon, is there an opportunity to ask them how they under municipalities with that initiative?
Yeah, I'm just get, like, them about the agenda on that.
It would be nice to learn what other municipalities have, control over the board, the libraries and how their interactions are working and.
I guess it'd be up to them to say whether it's within their purview, but, as far as something like that, but, part of it is library development. Part of it is library development, and then finances is part of that.
Or
Like you said,
Jennifer, go ahead,
No,
sorry.
that's all right.
Or Jennifer at your library directors meetings. You know, asking that question,
Yeah,
but,
it's all part, that'd be all part of network, yeah.
but,
It's all part, that'd be all part of network.
mhm.
So who would we talk to about the situation?
They're having a meeting with Peggy and the mayor.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be the
that would
perfect.
be a good point then.
Do we know when?
No, they said they would reach out to me when they're ready. They did an fund balance analysis. So,
Fund
We could
balance?
just throw something
Of our-
else here.
yes.
Since we're gonna be talking about this, can we make as part of the conversation how we do it?
Just,
Yeah.
you know, it's the library, and may annually levy a tax or appropriate money to provide for a library fund to be used exclusively. So there's, you know, their fund is to maintain the public library. The municipality may enact and enforce provisions to govern the use, management, and preservation of the public library. Any municipality desiring to establish a new public library shall obtain a written opinion. So it kind of spells it out that the municipality has police regulations to govern the use, management, and preservation of the library. So that must be where that policy came in, that you gotta hold so much in there. That was a police regulation to govern.
That's really the only toe they got in the water, the rest of it we're handling.
Right. I'm sure there's other sections in here with it. On,
I'm sure.
list of powers and duties and sometime.
Well, it's good that that meeting's gonna be held, because then
Alrighty.
Continue. I thought I'd be wrapping up.
Okay.
Did
that's fine.
anybody have any questions on the minutes? We're not approving those here.
No.
Right, that's what I thought. And then the that I did, questions, like in two places, it goes to, we need a process. And other than that, it's fund balance will be decreased. But we asked the question, revenues greater than expenditures? Yes, fund balance increases. That's how our fund balance increases. We expenditures? Yes, fund balance increases. That's how our fund balance increases. We get more revenue than expenses. No, we're capital outlays greater than our loss. So did we pay for equipment, chairs, whatever, that was greater than our loss? Yes. Is it than our loss? Yes. Is the decreased fund balance, when you decrease it with those expenditures, is the fund balance still greater than $100,000? If it is, we're okay, and we can decrease the fund balance. If not, we need a process, because we're not supposed to go below 100,000. Then our loss, then we need to determine the process of how we proceed. Because we're not supposed to spend out a fund balance if it's not for capital outlays. That makes sense? Those are the
This really lays it out real black and white, real easy.
Okay. things that I could think of, so if anybody said, well, you missed whatever,
Right, yeah.
we can change it.
we'll know exactly where we are at any point.
Right,
Okay.
It'll get a little murkier once you determine the process.
right, yeah, there we go.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thanks for all your hard work, gentlemen, Finance Committee.
I'm just back on that fund balance. Well, if our fund balance like the city does, just to a certain point, you have, like the city does, just to a certain point, you have to keep it at a certain percent. Once it gets past a certain percent, you drop it into other funds. I mean, that's what they do on everything. So, you could be doing that rather than letting it accumulate and drop it into your other funds. We have the right as a board to do that.
Yeah. Because they'd be handling our funds. Well, if they could just take our excess fund balance and move it to the police
No, this
department.
board does it.
board.
Oh, okay, you're saying this board does it,
Right.
but you started off with the city does it, where if the police has,
Like the other departments, they are able to, you know,
Where would we move it? So give us an example.
I think the board
wherever. you-
stipend that we want to pay to the board members, yeah.
I think that's where you get a situation where more than what you budgeted for capital stuff, where you get a situation where more than what you budgeted for capital stuff, you're just now taking money out of the fund balance and say, okay, we have to go ahead and make a deposit into this account that we're gonna be paying out of, and it's gonna come from the fund balance.
Gotcha, yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Well,
I
in
mean,
the city, they,
That's
well, if the fund balance gets,
Does that make sense? Yeah.
well,
I
in the
mean,
city, they,
that's
well,
it.
if the fund balance gets too much, they drop it in the general fund and then they stick it over, move it into the road funds or something.
Right.
You know, someplace else where it's needed.
Right,
So
right.
if there's a place where you're really short and your fund balance is high, you need money from the fund balance, but
Alright.
it sounds like what you're being told is cap.
First of all, yeah.
And I don't know if that's.
But that would
is
be
that
a-
policy written somewhere?
Good question to ask.
I think that's just how accounting is supposed to work. That otherwise, what's the point of a budget if you can just keep pulling from somewhere else and covering what, overspent on this, I'm just gonna grab how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, right, okay. Alrighty, is that it, Alan?
I'm good.
Excellent, then we are moving on to business. The first agenda item under business is the master calendar review, page 16 of our packet. We're gonna move that mid-year strategic plan assessment to July.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So I knew you probably just
Right.
missed that
Yeah.
because you talked about other things too. So, in June, the strategic plan mid-year assessment, we're gonna wait till June is done. And then,
On that April, recommending for board and appointments, I
Mhm.
mean, the election is really soon, the first meeting in April. How long after that is it there? I'm just wondering if it should be the end of March thing versus. The boards, commissions appointments for aldermen and stuff are made in April, right? It's pretty soon after elected.
I think that's just knowing that the new board members don't start till July, I think that's just, the new board members don't start till July, I think that's just a timeline for making some recommendations and getting it.
Except the automatic position will start as soon as the mayor makes it right after the
Yeah.
election.
Right.
Yeah, but
so-
these are board appointments, I'm no longer gonna be on the board. It's not alder people, it's
Okay.
Just
It's
solely,
because it just
so
says
it's everybody.
recommendations for board appointments and new or renewals.
I think that's just
Yeah,
like,
board
start
of-
thinking about,
the
yeah,
name gets put in front of the council, and then they approve it. So they're basically saying, we approve an individual, so it's an appointment process regardless of whether it's an automatic position or it's any of us.
yeah.
Calendar say?
It's been in April for a while, and we haven't had any issues getting people in on time, so I'm thinking
I'm okay with it.
something will come up where we need them. Is there a special building and grounds committee meeting in March for doing something?
Walk through.
We had decided a couple years ago to put those committee meetings on the calendar on a regular basis. Not that committee meetings on the calendar on a regular basis, not that they have to meet, but just to have them there so we remember to. Have regularly scheduled meetings if needed, yes.
So this would be for making, sure that if there's any, this is more like the high-level stuff, like stuff that would be and
Yep.
for buildings and grounds?
I think this has not changed much. We've added a few things and rearranged a few things, so. Do we need, I don't think we need to take action on it.
We didn't last year.
Yeah, okay,
We didn't last year.
yeah, okay. Any other comments or suggestions for the master calendar? Okay, then we'll move on to the approval of holidays and special days closing schedule, page 17.
Okay, days, closed days, half days, board meetings. So the board meetings are pretty consistently on the 4th Monday. March 27th is, that week is spring break for the
Okay.
Franklin schools, so I didn't know if that would,
Yeah, I know every year we do ask that question, and it,
Annalee's not here unfortunately to weigh in on it, but
right.
There's
So
n-
the
What would the
January
impact be?
23rd one, the first one
If
that's on
fam-
there is the, don't you usually, oh, it's the 4th, you're not doing it the last, actually the
Right.
last, don't you usually, oh, it's the 4th, you're not doing it the last, actually the
Right.
last Monday, you're doing
right,
it the
4th Monday.
The reason why I'm saying is because I typically have a meeting, so every time you do that in between.
Oh, if we don't do the 4th, it affects you.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Do the 4th, it affects you.
yeah.
Gotcha. So like in June, I don't know why the,
Okay, no,
Like in
I'll get to
January.
that, I'll get to
okay,
that.
okay. So the first question is the spring break one, which is March. Mike, the impact would be someone like you who teaches and has maybe that week also off for you. Are you planning big trips that you know of? So I think that's for any board members who, are you taking your grandkids somewhere during spring break, and would that affect? So I think in years past, it maybe affected people like that. So I think that's why we're offering it as an option to big trip, Doris.
No,
Okay.
usually I'm swamped with work.
Okay,
So I know for the past couple of years, it's still been okay,
Yeah,
and
so,
we can always
I mean,
leave.
there's
But thank you
nothing
for bringing,
saying,
yeah,
there's nothing saying that in February, when we
right.
talk
When we
about
meet,
it.
yeah, if we know now, or
Yeah.
people know now that
What
three.
happened to June?
Well, I'll get to that, 'cause that's the next one. So the other ones are the 4th Monday. So
Except for May.
And
that's because of no, May is on the 4th.
Yeah, please on the 4th.
Oh yeah, I see okay, you're
Yeah,
right.
oftentimes that is on the 3rd though.
Yeah, okay.
So
So June.
usually trying to plan my life ahead of time.
Whoa.
I know,
That's
revolutionary, I know.
I don't
And
know how that works.
Yeah.
my husband's board meeting is on the 21st, and then my board meeting would be on the 26th, which means we were hoping to go on vacation,
Oh,
immediately after he's done with his board meeting on the 21st.
okay.
However, if that's not gonna work, because it sounds like for Kristen it won't work.
well, plus
Carrie-
it's my birthday.
Oh my
The
goodness,
19th?
today's my anniversary, so,
Oh my goodness.
today's my anniversary, so.
Oh my goodness.
No, it doesn't matter.
Because we
I'd
could.
rather have you take a vacation than.
We
worry about my
could
birthday.
keep it on, we could move it back to the 26th and Carrie could be here,
Oh,
if the board wanted to do that.
that would be a good transition, not transitional, but like one of
Transformational?
those. No, what do you get, like you're trying to train her,
Yeah.
mentoring, thank you.
That's true.
So,
There isn't, if we move that strategic plan mid-year assessment to July, there isn't anything big in the master calendar on June, so.
Very.
It's not like the
Unless
meeting's
she's
not gonna
traveling.
happen, it's just gonna move.
She's not.
okay.
I did
Oh,
check
because
with
you,
her.
okay. Well, why don't we keep it the 26th then?
Okay, so then the rest of them obviously are on the 4th Monday until you get to December. and
Right.
I really highly doubt you guys want to be here. I really highly doubt you guys want to be here on Christmas, so.
I don't think we're open.
So that takes care of the board meetings. So everything will be on the
Okay.
fourth Monday except for that December. The other issue is the holidays, because the way Christmas falls on a Monday this year, Christmas falls on a Monday this year. City Hall's going to be closed on the 25th, the 26th, and the 2nd and the 3rd, I believe. So my question is, right now, we'd be open the 23rd of December, close the 24th, 25th, open on the 26th, if you look at my chart. Do we want to instead be open on the 23rd and be closed the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th? And then Maureen we don't have to worry about floating holidays.
Wait, say that one more time?
We would be open on the 26th, but we'd have to give floating holidays. That sometimes gets really tough for Maureen.
Because then does everybody pick their own?
Because they
Is
pick
that-
their own, and then she has to.
Yeah.
I think that the 26th would be really probably very slow anyhow, like.
Right.
Yes and no.
Just
Some-
have the meeting in December for the board.
Well, I would, I mean, if
This is
you,
so odd,
it does align more with City Hall.
odd.
It does align more with City Hall, and then,
And I will
if it's
verify, I will
easier
verify
for your
that,
staff,
yeah, I'll verify with City Hall, but that's typically how they do it.
You probably would have people looking more Saturday than care if it's open on the 26th.
Yeah, I think you should do what's better for your staff.
Absolutely.
So the other thing is, the same thing will happen for New Year's.
right, so 26th and 3rd.
So you'd be open on the 30th and then close first, second, and third.
Yeah, if that tends to be very busy, that
The
first,
district calendar just came out. Did you check with that?
Oh, I bet kids are back in school
kids are probably
on
back in school on the
2nd or
3rd.
Yeah, they are. They're back in school on the second. so-
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, what we can do is
But you know
we
what?
can,
It's all important that
No, I was
Is
just
it-
questioning if they didn't go back till. I was just
Oh,
curious what
right,
day
right.
they went.
Yeah, they're not gonna be coming to the library.
Right.
I mean, the day after New Year, or right after New Year's, we do get pretty busy.
well, I was gonna say, do they still have,
After New Year's, we do get pretty busy.
well, I was gonna say, do they still have, is the high school calendar end before the holidays, or are they still doing exams into
Their semester goes into
Yeah.
January.
Franklin's does?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's those tri-semesters.
Oh, that's right,
It's those tri-semesters.
oh, that's right.
So it's like mid-January, isn't it?
Kind of like that, 11th, 12th,
'Cause I-
ish, maybe before,
Well, I was
but
just thinking of
at least
exams.
almost 2 weeks into.
For sure, we would be busier on the 3rd than we would be on the 26th.
Right,
I could
right.
say that.
But do you think as long as it's posted?
Right, I mean, it doesn't, whatever you post is, like, you just put them up last minute, so.
Right.
It is what it is.
Oh, you know what? This is wrong.
Hmm,
This is an Excel calendar, but they.
oh, they don't
it's-
have the
They
31st
don't have
on,
Interesting.
I trusted that Excel. So actually, Sunday is the 31st, and Monday would be the 1st. I'm gonna have to correct that.
so then really,
So,
you could do the 1st and 2nd, and that would line up with the 20.
or we could just say we're open on the 2nd.
Right.
I leave it up. Like I said, after January, it does get pretty busy.
I was gonna say, if historically, it's been busy, then I would say
Much
open.
busier than after
Yeah,
Christmas.
oh, for sure, yeah.
So close on
And that way, there'd only be one floating holiday Maureen would have to schedule.
All right. Okay,
Are you gonna redo this?
Yes.
And then, just for clarification, June, we're meeting on the 26th.
You said you were confirming this, but I'm very surprised, or do we know, is the civic celebration Monday? I mean, are they gonna have, they're not
No,
having anything Monday, and then they are on Tuesday? Kristen, do you know anything about that?
it was approved, common council approved it in October 4th meeting, the
So
civic
the-
celebration hours.
So what are they gonna do, have stuff going on all weekend, and then nothing on Monday, and then the parade on Tuesday?
I don't even
Or-
think they're having anything on, I think,
I'm trying to remember it went back and forth.
Okay, all right, but, so you confirm that, though? Okay, okay, all right,
Yeah.
but, so you confirm that, though?
I
Okay,
did, and so it's very different.
yeah,
Because it
is, yeah.
really isn't not gonna
It's
affect
the-
us.
We're not actually having the 4th on the 4th, or the, because,
it's like
That-
Tuesday, yeah,
yeah, it was,
it's like
That-
Tuesday, yeah.
yeah. It was, they wanted to capture the people on Friday, because that's when they get all the
Right.
money, and if they carried it out too far, then they tie up police and DPW all the way
Forever.
out till, yeah, so, it really wasn't, it was
Okay, well,
contentious, it really wasn't, it was
okay, well,
contentious.
all righty.
So yeah, really the only thing is they're gonna,
And you have to be
3
closed on
p.m..
the, yeah,
so we'd close halfway through the day on the 1st,
right,
because civic celebration would start at 3 p.m. we first.
right,
Because civic celebration would start at 3 p.m., we figured that would give us time to clear out, and then the parking lot could be,
and what about the 30th of June then? That starts in the evening, right?
that starts late,
Yeah,
it
late
starts at
enough
like
that you're-
5. And our history has shown us that
Right.
even though it starts at 5
Yeah.
on
Doesn't
Friday,
pick up, okay,
it doesn't pick up till late.
okay,
So
Good.
staying open till 5 is not a
Okay.
problem.
righty. Anything else on the calendar? All right, then we are going to move on to, agenda item.
Well, I think you do have to approve the calendar.
Oh, do we have to approve the calendar? I have a motion to approve the holiday and special day closing schedule for 2023?
As,
With the change, with, yeah, right, with the changes and adjustments.
so moved.
Alan, do I have a second? And Doris? All in, motion carries. All right, now we are going to, move into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute, section 19.851C, to consider employment, promotion, compensation, performance evaluation data of any public employee or exercises responsibility. We will then reconvene into open session to continue the agenda and take action on topics discussed in closed session. So roll call approval to go, is it approval to go into closed session or vote? Okay, and Doris?
Second.
Terry? Yeah.
Did you say aye?
Yes.
Anne Marie?
Aye.
Alan?
All right.
Mike?
Aye.
Kristen?
Aye.
All right, ready? Okay, it is 7:46 and we are out of closed session. The motion that we discussed,
You want the motion for the expenditures for, or the compensation for the position? Do you want that one?
yes.
I'll make the motion to approve the
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
What? I don't understand the motion.
That we are approving based on the evaluations, the
compensation
compensation
for her
for
position. of the
her
council.
position. Yeah,
We didn't discuss compensation.
Yeah,
for her position, yeah.
We didn't discuss compensation.
yeah, and it's not on the agenda.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't,
a little confused, I'm sorry.
I thought that's what we just discussed right before we.
Yeah, I know, but it's not on the agenda, like, it's nowhere on the agenda.
It says, take action on topics discussed in closed session.
What's the,
Discussed in closed session.
what's the agenda? I don't have my.
I don't have a copy of last year's agenda, but I remember coming out of closed session and approving.
From last year.
Oh, you copied and pasted from last year, so there was no motion about compensation. But I know we did it last year.
Well, you are considering employment and compensation. It's
Right.
It's right in the. it's
And we're
right in
taking
there.
action on topics discussed.
I don't know of a specific number that we talked about, whether it's percent or dollars or anything as far as compensation goes.
Okay, the
So-
way her the way it works is that, and Kristen can help me through this, but like the city, comes up with a percentage and they don't have it. The, comes up with a percentage and they don't have it. They discuss it and, you know, they have a projected amount, but it's an unknown. They decide it and then
We're
it's.
just
You're just saying yes or no.
to what the,
Decide it, and then
we're
it's-
just
You're just saying yes or no.
to what the city will come up with some.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, can you repeat your motion then?
I think I just said motion to approve the compensation. For the position.
What if we don't think it's enough? Or it's way too much? When we
Well,
finally
then
get
we
the
have to
number?
have-
Or it's way too much? When we
Well,
finally
then
get the
We have to
number?
have more in the budget, if it's, we don't think if it's enough.
Yeah, I know, but this bothers me. I would vote no, because I'm seeing this as, I'm voting for something, it's blind.
Well, it's,
Trust me, an investment, I wouldn't do it.
well, if it's allocated in the budget, it's a budgeted item. It's my understanding that
That,
it was a budget allocation.
So it should be in the.
but we should know what it is, and if we know what it is, we should lay it out on the
So
table.
it's in that 23 budget.
Approved.
Budget was approved, yeah. Although we didn't have a specific area about the budget in the budget, which was one of the things that I was like, and they're like, well, the library board has complete control over that anyway, so we don't put it. That was a conversation that I had, is it's always been in there and now it's not in there. So, not in there. So, we can hold, I can hold my motion, we can hold.
I was gonna
until
say, you could withdraw your motion. Is that how you do it?
Yeah, I withdraw.
Okay, Kristen withdraws her motion. We
Is that
will,
okay with the person? Did anyone second?
I seconded it, but yeah.
Are you withdraw
So
yours?
withdraw.
Then the motion's been withdrawn.
okay,
But yeah.
Are you withdraw
So
yours?
withdraw.
Then the motion's been withdrawn.
okay. Motion has been withdrawn. We will,
How about if I make the motion to table any compensation, action until,
Find the number.
Yes.
I have an idea when she's
I
done.
can get that information for you.
before,
Okay, so yeah, we don't, okay, so yeah, we don't need that's are you moving to table it?
yes, I would
Yeah.
move to table any action on the compensation of the position. Percentage.
And,
This compensation is effective January 1.
right, so we have next meeting to,
Okay.
yes. So all in favor of tabling this until the information is, aye.
Until the percentage is defined.
Yes.
Defined.
Anybody-
Percentage is defined. Write
Okay.
that down, percentage is defined.
Suggest, or just tossing it out there, that I know that the percentage is in
Yeah,
the city's budget.
It's a big budget to
And
memorize.
we could say not to be less than that. Because we don't want to give a specific number if the city approves something more, right? So compensation not to be less than X amount percent might be, something we can
one.
Yeah. And as far as, Alan, the evaluations went, we used to do it that way, and it took us forever, because then every single board member read through every single comment, and we decided, like we do with the finance committee, that we do the legwork and present the summary.
Okay.
But we have it if you want to see it. Not like private, so.
Okay.
It just got unwieldy.
I can email them to you if you want, I can email you access.
No, it's a done deal now, I mean.
We can talk about it next year, yeah. It's probably one of those things that swings back and forth where, see this, just tell us what the summary is, but, if that's what we want to do, we can go back the other way too.
You're right, because you can beat that dead horse.
Okay,
And I can eat the benefit.
yeah. Kristen, agenda item I am gonna, table our bylaw review until,
The only thing I have is we adopted the budget, I think I already know that.
yep. Jennifer communicated that to us. I don't have any additional report from myself, agenda item 8. So Jennifer,
Okay, ooh,
agenda item 8. So Jennifer,
okay, ooh, yeah, it's late.
I know,
I'll do the speediest monthly report
Excellent.
ever. I get to it. For our November work anniversary, our only one is Laura, who's been here for 16 years. We're in the process, we've gotten 14 applications. I've not gotten, you think that's a lot?
I thought that's a
Oh,
lot.
it's so much smaller than we used to, but that's
Oh,
just
really?
the,
Okay.
that's just how things are nowadays. So we'll be, hopefully, get somebody in place by the beginning of the year. The backflow preventer, you saw the bill for it. So we had 2 backflow preventers, both failed inspection. They're old. So we had to replace one because it was obsolete. The other one we shut off out to the faucets out in the parking lot that we never, ever, ever use. So, as far as security, I got the cameras in today and they're working. One's working. I've got one set up and I'm gonna catch her DVD feed.
Catch the DVD.
I've got one set up and I'm gonna catch her DVD feed.
Catch the DVD.
And where are you directing the session?
We haven't found, in the morning, we're gonna experiment and see the best angle. So,
Which direction?
Where are you
Towards
thinking of
what?
trying to cover?
Which direction?
Where are you
Towards
thinking of
what?
trying to cover?
probably towards, I'm thinking maybe out in the lobby, directed at the gates, towards the circulation area. As far as the Christmas tree, if the board, I've got the dimensions, the 9-foot, 10-foot information in here. So if you want me to order that, I can do that.
And that would go by the fireplace?
It would go by the fireplace. It shouldn't, when it was in the main area,
Yes.
we used to have 2. One in the
Right.
main area, blocks all kinds of vision everywhere. So I get complaints that nobody can see around the Christmas tree to the
Right.
copier,
And you guys have don't you have Santa here on Saturday?
Mhm.
Would you put him back by the fireplace then, by the tree?
No, he's in here.
Oh, he's in here, that's
He's
right.
in here with the 200 children that are showing up.
Tree?
No, he's in here.
Oh, he's in here, that's
He's in
right.
here with the 200 children that are showing up.
That's
So.
what they're expecting for the Christmas parade?
That's just what we're expecting
They
for our
have
meet and
registered.
greet.
Oh, okay.
I
So-
say no tree.
No tree?
It's $550 and we have no place to put it.
No place to store it?
No place, it's $550 and we have no place to put it.
No place to store it?
No place to store it. And who's gonna decorate it? The busy staff? And what ornaments go on it?
We'd have to buy ornaments for it. So there'd be ornaments on top of the 550.
Can we do like a garland?
We have a lit up twinkle, it's up there now.
And they have small trees.
And we have small trees that we put
That
up.
works.
What about
Okay.
mistletoe?
Blame me.
Mistletoe, what about mistletoe?
Plan for it next year.
I
Yeah.
worry about
We'll talk
the
about it between this year and next year.
Yeah.
If it's a big deal, again.
materials locker. We're still waiting. Oak Creek is also,
Is that a really big deal?
the materials locker or the Christmas tree? Oh,
Getting trained on the materials locker?
yeah, I mean, because there's the back end part of it, the programming part of it.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
I actually don't want people coming to get their stuff and then get it.
Yeah. And Brittany are gonna go to the Live Learn X conference. They're very
That's
excited.
exciting.
They are very excited. And they will present what they learn at the February meeting.
Nice.
When is it?
January, I didn't put exactly when it is.
No.
It's late January.
January, that's fine.
January, yeah, late
Uh-huh.
January. Hopefully they won't be snowed out.
It's New Orleans.
But I meant
The other things to worry about.
going,
This end, yeah, getting
Yeah.
there,
getting back.
getting back, yeah.
So, upcoming events, we already talked about the Santa meet and greet this weekend. If anybody wants to meet and greet this weekend, if anybody wants to be in the parade with me, let me know. I do need I'll find one other person to hold the other end, but if anybody wants to walk along and throw candy, we
And
can
what
throw
time is
candy
that?
this year. It's at 3 o'clock,
3 o'clock, Saturday,
yeah. It's at 3 o'clock,
3 o'clock, Saturday.
yeah.
I can watch the parade, but I might be able to sway children.
They could walk in it, yeah. Let me know.
I will.
The bake sale is this weekend as well, and we could use bakers and we could use volunteers if anybody wants to volunteer that day as well, selling baked goods. And then we have a gift wrap gala that kids and young adults are putting on, so if you have any presents you want to be wrapped, they will wrap them for you.
Ask a quick question for you. Did the raffle tickets come in?
Yeah, they did get approved, the raffle got approved from the state,
Okay.
so the raffle went live on Friday. No, sorry, Wednesday.
All right.
So if you want a $10 raffle ticket, calendar raffle, we'll be drawing on every Tuesday, Friday in January, February, and March. It's $20 Tuesdays and $50 Fridays. So you could win a lot, and your name gets
Put back
your
in?
name gets put back in. So you could win 26 times if you're the luckiest person in the world. And then the at a glance, you can see, and then the at a glance, you can see we had a pretty good month with ebooks. We had a good month with our gate count, probably thanks to Trunk or Treat. Computer sessions were up. Library programming attendees were up. So it was a pretty good month. Meeting room use. End of the year, we see a lot of meeting room explosion because of all the Medicare,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Medicare meetings in here. So that's probably why that was so much higher than the previous month. And that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Bake sale, calendar raffle,
Our next meeting's in January 16th, so
Excellent.
donation letters out.
donation letter went out.
Gary, do you have a colon report for us?
I do, but it could wait till next month.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Jennifer, we'll make sure we do that in December.
Just remind me, because it's an even month and it throws me
Right,
off.
right. The personnel committee will be meeting, we don't have a date set, so. And then our next meeting is December 19th. I do want to remind you that this meeting is December 19th. I do want to remind you that we will be scheduling the January morning, Saturday morning retreat in December. So if you could just make sure you have an idea of your January schedule, and when Jennifer sends out the packet, she'll put a reminder for us. We should come with dates for January. That's all. And the 19th, does anybody know right now if they cannot make it? That is the 1, 2, 3, that's the third. Okay, so
JWK?
I think she kind of assumes it, but I can check with her. Okay,
And you said that our meeting is?
the 19th at 6 PM
That's
here.
the motion.
All right, I make a motion, we